My name is Mike. A young bank manager in Enugu. Most people think being a bank manager is glamorous, but most days it's just long hours, pressure, and paperwork. Things became interesting when a beautiful new accountant named Mirabelle joined our branch. She was smart, quiet, and effortlessly charming. Like most of the men in the office, I noticed her immediately. But unlike them, I had a reason to spend time with her because I was assigned to help supervise some of her work while she settled into the system. What started as a professional conversation slowly became something more. Within a few weeks, we were dating. 3 months into our relationship, Mirabelle suggested I move out of my apartment. The area isn't nice, she said. Besides, I know someone who can get you a better place. My lease was already close to expiring, so I agreed. The apartment she found was old, but surprisingly affordable and well maintained. Looking back now, I should have asked why such a good house was so cheap. I moved in. The nightmares began almost immediately. One Friday night, after spending the evening at a club, Mirabel came home with me. The last thing I remembered was collapsing onto my bed. Then I woke up. My phone read 2:07 a.m. The room was cold, unnaturally cold. Mirabel was gone. Assuming she was in the bathroom, I got up, went looking for her. The bathroom light was on. As I stepped inside, I froze. The floor was covered with muddy footprints. Not ordinary footprints. They were bare footprints. And they didn't come from outside. They came out of the shower. A pool of dirty water covered the tiles. The drain appeared clogged. As I crouched down to inspect it, something caught my attention. A clump of long black hair. It was tangled around the drain opening. Far too much hair to belong to one person. A foul smell drifted upward from beneath. The smell of stagnant water and something rotten. My stomach twisted. I grabbed a screwdriver and removed the drain cover. Nothing. No blockage. No hair. No smell. The drain looked perfectly clean. Then a hand touched my shoulder. I nearly screamed. It was Mirabelle. She stood behind me, smiling. Asked, "What are you doing?" I pointed towards the floor. The muddy footprints were gone. The water was gone. The drain cover was somehow back in place. Even the screwdriver had returned to the window sill where I normally kept it. I didn't sleep much that night. The following day, things became stranger. I kept seeing puddles of water around the house. Whenever I approached them, they disappeared. At one point, I noticed wet footprints leading upstairs. They stopped directly outside my bedroom. No return footprints, just the ones going in. That evening, while searching for a mop, I opened the storage room beneath the staircase. Two bright eyes stared back at me from the darkness. I stumbled backward. The light suddenly returned. The eyes turned out to be reflections from two hanging spoons. At least that's what I told myself. But as I closed the door, I could have sworn I saw those eyes blink. I started convincing myself it was stress, or maybe the alcohol from the previous night. Then came the moment that destroyed every explanation I had. Later that day, I heard water running upstairs. I walked towards the bathroom. The door was open. Inside stood Mirabelle. Her back was facing me. Her long hair hung down her shoulders. "Mirabelle," I called. At the exact moment, a voice answered behind me. "Yes?" I spun around. The real Mirabelle stood in the hallway, smiling. I turned back. The bedroom was empty. Nothing stood inside. For the first time, genuine fear settled into my chest. Something was wrong with that house, or with Mirabelle. I just didn't know which. The next day was Sunday. We spent the evening watching a movie when the power suddenly went out. The house was plunged into darkness. Mirabelle suggested we start the generator. We grabbed a flashlight and headed downstairs. Halfway to the kitchen, I saw something move. Fast. Almost too fast. A dark figure darted across the hallway. I immediately reached behind me to grab Mirabelle's hand. My fingers touched nothing. I turned around. She was gone. Then I heard a soft laugh ahead of me. Mirabelle stood at the end of the hallway, watching me, smiling. The smile didn't reach her eyes. Something about it felt wrong, very wrong. I ignored it and hurried outside towards the generator house. The compound was pitch black. As I approached the generator, my flashlight landed on a figure standing beside it, a woman. Long hair, white clothing, motionless. I pointed the beam directly at her. She vanished. My blood ran cold. I rushed to start the generator. The machine roared to life. As I stood up, I heard running. Steps of someone or something running. Not human. Something charged towards me. Fast. Violently fast. I looked up. A dark shape was rushing straight at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't breathe. The figure collided with me and passed through my body. The cold that followed felt like falling into freezing water. Then immediately the lights came on. I ran back into the house. The generator immediately shut off. Darkness swallowed everything again. Shaking, I turned on my phone's flashlight. That was when I saw her. Mirabel stood facing the wall, but she wasn't wearing the clothes she had 1 minute earlier. She wore a long gown, soaked with blood. Her feet were bare. Water dripped from her hair. The sound echoed through the house. Mirabel, I whispered. Slowly, her neck began to turn. Not her body, only her neck. The bones cracked loudly. The head continued turning 90 degrees, 180 until her face stared directly at me. Her eye sockets were empty, dark, endless. Then she smiled, a smile so wide it looked painful. And when she spoke, her voice sounded like water bubbling through a drain. You finally found me. I screamed. The lights returned. She vanished, but something remained. A puddle of water at my feet. Floating inside it was a small newspaper clip. My hand shook as I picked it up. It was old, very old. The headline read, "Young woman missing after moving into new apartment." The attached photograph showed Mirabel. The article was dated 2023, 2 years before I met her. The report stated that she moved into the very apartment I now occupied. Neighbors reported hearing screams during a stormy night. Police later found traces of blood inside the house, but nobody was ever recovered. The case remained unsolved. I didn't wait another second. I grabbed my wallet and ran. I never returned. The following week I went to work, expecting answers. There were none. Nobody knew who Mirabel was. Not management, not human resources, not the staff. No employment records existed, no payroll information, no photographs, nothing. It was as though she never worked there, never dated me, never existed. Months later, while driving home, I saw another copy of the missing person poster. The same photograph, the same date, the same face. As I stared at it, a familiar hand gently touched the back of my neck, exactly the way Mirabel used to comfort me. Slowly I turned around. Nobody was there. That was 6 months ago. The church still comes, once or twice every month. Usually when I'm alone, usually when I'm thinking about her. And sometimes, just before I fall asleep, I hear water dripping somewhere in my room. When I follow the sound, I always find the same thing. A small puddle of water, and beside it, a strand of long black hair. I never touched it anymore, because the last time I did, I heard Mirabel whisper directly into my ear, "I was never missing Mike." Then she laughed, and the puddle slowly began moving toward my bed.